FightHype.com, here with Steven Espinoza, JR. How's it going, Mr. Espinoza?
I'm good. I'm great. Thank you.
Okay, so I just mentioned off camera, kind of like what we're going to talk about, the demise of Showtime Boxing.
Right. The going out of business sale.
Right. Where are we at on that? I mean, I know Bob Arum saying it. You got Eddie Hearn making little comments about that.
It's funny. I try not to make comments on stuff that I'm not knowledgeable about. Certainly go out on a limb talking about businesses that, I don't know anything about. And so all these comments about Showtime going out of business or stopping boxing coming from two people who have very little connection to the network. One of whom has virtually no experience in promoting U.S. events and is even less experience with U.S. premium television. So, I mean, bottom line, it's sort of wishful thinking more than anything else. We've got a long-term deal with PBC. We have long-term plans for the sport. We spent more in 2019 than in any year prior to that. And if anything, we're expanding, not contracting. So, I'm not sure where those guys are coming from saying that the business doesn't work for us. The reality, it works very well. And for that reason, we've got no reason and no interest in getting out of it.
And just to play a little devil's advocate, if you don't mind, when there was rumors about HBO going under, a lot of people were saying the same thing. Like, no, we're not going nowhere. That's not.
Well, if you look back, they didn't say the same thing. Their comments, no one came out from HBO and said, we're not going out of business, we remain committed as ever. Now, at least not as directly as I'm saying it to you. So, look, the reason why I haven't responded a lot is because the proof's in the pudding. Time will tell. And we'll see. If I remember correctly, the first date we were supposed to go out of business was August of 2019. Now it's December 31st of this year. So, the fact is, we'll know, in January, February, March, who was, speaking out of their ass and, who knew what they were talking about.
And I'll even say on the way here, I was doing a little research, hoping to get an interview with you. I think it was as early as 2018.
Oh, 2018.
If you're checking on Google.
Well, so. If we want to go back, I was going to be fired in my first year on the job. So the fact that I'm still here is, I guess someone screwed up and continued to pay me.
Any truth to the thought that you guys overpaid for the Brazil fight, and that's why you're not having a Wilder PPV card?
No, that's puzzled me a little bit because there were initially plans for it as a pay-per-view, right. And everybody hated that plan. So we came out of pocket and made it a Showtime event. And that's our cost. And then people say that was a poor decision. So it's sort of like, okay, the fight was going to happen. There are reasons for us to put it on Showtime. People forget that these events drive business, they drive subscriptions, they keep our subscribers happy. Right. So the reality, was it more expensive than a usual fight? Yes, and it should have been. Deontay does, very good viewership. He's done very good viewership for the last several years. So ultimately, yeah, that fight was more expensive than most. It was something that we did because we thought it would provide value on the network and probably more value than pay-per-view. And people still had complaints, so it's sort of damned if you do, damned if you don't.
But there's no correlation between the amount of money you paid for the Brazil fight and why the next Wilder fight wasn't a Showtime pay-per-view.
No, not at all. Like one or the other, we had a full opportunity to discuss and negotiate on the Wilder fight, and it just didn't fit with where we were. But that had nothing to do. The two had nothing to do with each other.
Oh, you mentioned some big things coming up in the future for Showtime. Any teaser you want to give us? Anything that you might want to leak out for the fans listening?
For some strange reason, we're continuing to work on a 2020 schedule. I don't want to give away, I think one of the things the sport doesn't do very well is sort of, spread information because it always ends up leaking out one way or the other. And sort of with our potential December 28th event, which may or may not be December 28th. So I'd like to do one formal announcement, but we're hard at work. We're programming 2020, regardless of what experts say about our business.
Mr. Espinoza, thanks a lot. Thanks for your time.
All right, you got it.
Thank you, man. Yeah.